Y'all, I am so excited about today's episode because we have my good friend Monica Louie on the show and we are talking all things Facebook ads. So I'll see you on the inside.
You're listening to my mom
on the Mommy's Home Office Show.
Okay, Mom, yes, 10. Love you. Yeah, push mommy up, eh?
Aw, thanks, guys. Now go play so I can record this. Welcome to the Mommy's Home Office Podcast, where I pull back the curtains and talk about the realities of starting and running a successful online business from home. I'm your host, Nicole Wynn. Let's do this. You guys, I am so excited because on the show today, we have my good friend, Monica Louie. She's a Facebook ad strategist for some pretty big names out there. Now, we can't mention names, but she's the real deal. She's also my friend. I met her at Amy Porterfield's Mastermind Weekend about 2.5 years ago, and we became fast friends there, and we talk nearly every single week. So I wanted her to come on the show because Facebook ads can be overwhelming and just really scary. So I brought her on today to talk about different strategies that we can use and different tips on Facebook ads. So let's get started. Welcome to the show, Monica. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me, Nicole.
Of course. I am so excited because our moms get to listen in on one of our conversations, and I think they are going to love you as much as I do. So I'm just going to dive in. I think it's important that moms hear other stories of how other moms got started in the online business. So could you take us on your journey or your road to how you got to where you are now?
Sure. So, I would say it all started back in like 2008 or 2009. I was working in a corporate job, working, 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. And it never seemed like it was enough, no matter how many hours I put in. I was getting married in 2009, and we knew that we wanted to have a family, kids, and I just felt like I wasn't making the contribution that I knew that I could in the world and even in my company. And so this book caught my eye. I was at a bookstore, caught my eye, called Escape from Cubicle Nation. And that title just grabbed me. I was like, yes, this is what I want. And so I bought the book, I read the book, and she talked all about creating your own business and becoming your own boss. And I thought, well, that sounds good. And I had no idea what I could even do to create a business, what I could sell to people, what kind of services I could offer. I had no idea other than what I was doing currently in my corporate job, and I really didn't want to continue to do that. That just planted the seed that it'd be really great to be my own boss one day. And so then carrying forward as I got married, and then later we did have our son. And with that, I just knew that I wanted more flexibility in my schedule, that I didn't want to come back from my maternity leave and work, 50 plus hours a week, plus commute time, plus, having him be in daycare all day, every day, and barely getting to see him during his awake hours. And so my husband and I kind of looked at our budget, and we decided to try to make it work for me to go to part-time. And so I ended up going part-time at my corporate job, and I did that for a year. And then after that year was over, my husband had gotten a promotion. We'd cut some of our expenses, and we figured that the numbers were looking like they were lining up better. And so I ended up, by that time I was pregnant with my daughter, and ended up leaving. So I had a toddler and a daughter on the way, and started to stay home. But I knew that the goal was to figure out what kind of business I could start from home that I could grow, slowly while the kids were little, because I still wanted to have that flexibility. And so that's where I started learning more about blogging and online business, because you could set your own hours, work, in between, during nap times and whatever. And so that's how I started to learn about that. And so that's when I discovered Pat Flynn and Amy Porterfield, that led me to B School, that led us to meeting at Amy Porterfield's B School event.
So awesome. It sounds like even before you had kids, you had this mindset about wanting to be at home and work from home and get away from the corporate life. Do you think that the kids just added to that drive to do it?
Definitely. So, I mean, they were my huge motivation, and that I knew that I wanted to create an income for my family. We were doing fine just on my husband's income, but I knew that I wanted to contribute financially as well. When we had made that transition to go to a single income, we felt very vulnerable. So this was, right after the Great Recession, and people were losing their jobs, and we voluntarily went from 2 incomes to 1. So we decided that we really wanted to get a handle on our finances, that, we had built up some savings to prepare for that transition, but we just still felt very vulnerable. So I started diving into personal finance. My corporate career was in financial services, but I started to dive into personal finance, and I heard all these success stories of people getting out of debt. And I thought, well, gosh, maybe we need to reach a little higher instead of just trying to stay afloat. What if we paid off all of our debt, including our mortgage, and then we'd feel, way less vulnerable if my husband lost his job, if we were cutting our debt. So we ended up creating this big goal of paying off all of our debt, including our mortgage, in 8 years. So we were 32 at the time. And so we wanted to do it by the time we were 40. And it was $320,000 of debt, including our mortgage and student loans and home equity line of credit. And we just knew that we wanted to go for it. And so so that was kind of my big project to kind of keep us organized with our finances when I first started as a stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. And then from there, people started asking, well, how are you guys doing that? We know, like, my husband's coworkers make, roughly the same that he does. And they were like, how are you guys paying off so much debt on a single income? And so that's when I realized, like, this can be the thing that I help people with online and somehow figure out how to turn that into a business. So that got me down the blogging path, which led me to where I am today.
That's awesome. So, but that was not in Facebook ads, which is what you do now. You kind of had this like pivot. I know pivot is a big word for the online world right now. And you pivoted really well. And it was a year ago?
Just over a year ago now.
And you pivoted from that personal finance world to doing Facebook ads. So what spurred that actually? Like, what spurred the pivot? How did you know it was right?
It all kind of happened naturally and organically. So I learned Facebook ads for my blog. I was putting on a debt freedom training webinar, and I wanted to get people onto my webinar to show up. And I didn't have a big list. I didn't have a big following. I didn't have a lot of traffic. I had a very small audience. And so I knew that I wanted to reach even more people. So through Amy Porterfield's B-School bonus package, she had a Facebook ad training in there. And so I just studied that and I applied it to my first campaign. And my first campaign, I got people onto my webinar for $1.26 per conversion on average through the entire campaign.
That's awesome.
Which this was at the end of 2015, and Amy said back then, like, a good cost per conversion was $1 to $3 for webinar signups. So at $1.26, my first time out, I was really, really pleased with that. And then I did it again a couple months later for my next webinar, and I got that cost per conversion down to $1.01. And so from there, my friends in the online world, blogging world that I had started to meet online started to ask me for help with their Facebook ad campaigns. Mm-hmm. And at first I was a little bit like, I don't know. I mean, I did it for myself, but I don't know if I can help you. And so I ended up like working on one project with a client, and that went pretty well. And then I was still very much involved in the personal finance community at that time. And so my name started to spread as somebody who could help with Facebook ads. And so then by the end of 2016, I had decided that I wanted to make a pivot away from the personal finance blog. I ended up selling it, but then at the same time, my name started to spread, and I got a client in November of 2016. I got my next client in December of 2016, and then I got several more in January 2017. And then from there, I mean, it was just clear, because then with each client, at first I was a little, still hesitant to really step into that role as a Facebook ads expert. But I mean, once we started getting great results with each of my clients, trying different things and different types of campaigns, and I was able to get great success on their campaigns with them, that's where I finally realized, okay, Monica, there's something here. Like, I'm having a lot of fun doing this every single day. And so I just knew, like, now's my moment to step into this role, and things have just completely taken off ever since.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. So, I have always dabbled in the Facebook ads, just running them for my own businesses. And I've never gotten them down as low as you, but I really have fun with it because I like to just play with different audiences. And I've probably wasted so much money that I didn't need to waste. But I mean, it's always been fun, and seeing if any results come from it. But I do have some questions about Facebook ads. Like, I think a lot of us get scared, and I'm finding that I'm getting a little bit scared to run Facebook ads with Mommy's Home Office, where I was never that way before with my previous business. And I want to know, like, when are we ready, or when should we start running a Facebook ad?
When you have a clear strategy and a clear goal in mind that Facebook ads can help you with. Like, a lot of people run ads to get more page likes. And I mean, nowadays, with very limited reach on our page for most of us, having more Facebook fans makes us feel good, and it's kind of nice to have that social proof. But in the end, that's not going to help us move forward in our business in most cases. So when you have a clear strategy that you see that Facebook ads can, share your offer with more people, or maybe even just spread your message to more people, but you know that you have a very clear goal in mind that Facebook ads can fit into helping you reach that goal, that's when it's the right time.
I love that answer because, strategy is my jam. And I feel like you are wasting your time and energy if you don't have a good strategy behind everything. So I'm super glad that you said that. So that actually leads me into my next question. Should I use Facebook ads to build my list, or just when I have a product to sell, after I have a strategy in place? How would it be most effective for me to use those Facebook ads without wasting a lot of money?
So, there are several different things that you can do with Facebook ads. And so one way that we commonly see is to grow your list or grow people's lists. Like, if you scroll through your newsfeed, you see the ads, you start paying attention to the ads that are popping up. They either want to sell you something, or they want to get you into their funnel, their sales funnel, or they want you to download their freebie, to get you on their email list. So those are probably the most common ways that people use Facebook ads. Another way that I've been using Facebook ads with most of my clients is to drive traffic to their blog, to specific blog posts that are monetized. And so those blog posts are monetized with ad networks, the display ads, either in the sidebar or throughout the blog post. And they can also be monetized with affiliate links throughout, so recommending certain products, and if people click through and register or sign up, they can get an affiliate commission for that. That has been one of the ways that I usually start off with clients when they're dipping their toe into Facebook ads, because we can get a lot more result for a lower cost. So a cost per click, I always shoot for 10 cents or lower, and most of the time I'm able to get it lower than 10 cents, as low as like 1 or 2 cents on the best performing campaigns. But usually it's around like 3 to 7 or 8 cents in that range. So that means that we can drive a lot of traffic for not very much money. And then when they have the revenue potential with that blog post, it's a great strategy that then we can, start with a smaller budget, and then we can scale up once we see that it's working. So that's a good way to kind of test the waters with Facebook ads, so that you're not spending a lot of money out of the gate. Because when we look at the conversion campaigns, which is where we would, that's the type of campaign we would create to try and get those email list signups and people to register for our webinars and sign up to get into our sales funnels, those usually cost a lot more. And so I referenced that, a couple years ago it was $1 to $3. Depending on what your offer is, it can be anywhere from $1 to even $10 or more.
Wow.
So it can be a lot more expensive per result when you go that route. But think about, what is the end goal? If you have a one-time launch, like you're coming out with your product and you want to launch, then it might make sense to go with the conversion campaign to get those signups because it's just a short time period that you're going to be investing that money.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes total sense and something I'm definitely going to think about when I start running ads. Thank you. Okay, this next question is because it's something I struggle with. I see that little blue button at the bottom of my Facebook posts or at the bottom of my Instagram post that says boost, and I am so tempted to press that button, and it's like an easy button, and I just want to press it and put $10 to $20 behind it. And I've heard that we're not supposed to do that. It's not good, but can you tell us why? It's so tempting.
So the boost post button, I look at it as Facebook's low-hanging fruit for the Facebook business model, which is to pull in more of your advertising dollars. And so while they might say, boost this post to get in front of more people for $20, that might not seem like a very much amount of money, and it's not. But anytime you're investing money into your business, even if it's $10 on a boosted post, I want you to think through and have a clear goal for what that money is going to bring you. Is it just going to bring more eyeballs on this one Facebook post that may or may not move the needle in your business? If that's the case, then I would say let's save those dollars and save them up so that we can put them toward an actual campaign that is going to, bring more traffic to your website, that's going to get more people onto your email list that you can, offer products or whatever to down the road. So just think about the clear strategy. What is the goal in mind? Because if a lot of people, I was even told this when I started in the online world, get in the practice of boosting your post for your new blog post, every week, just put $10 behind it, and pretty soon your Facebook page is going to grow and your traffic's going to grow. Well, if you take that $10 here and the $10 there and the $10 over there and you put it together and you actually create a thoughtful strategic campaign in the Power Editor or the Ads Manager, then you are going to most likely save yourself money. And the reason I say that is because when you're boosting a post, you are very limited in what your options are there. And the biggest piece that's missing is the testing aspect. So when I create a campaign in the Power Editor or the Ads Manager, I like to test different audiences. And once I kind of narrow down to my best performing audiences, then I like to test different versions of the ad. And when you just hit the boost post button, you're targeting one audience and you're targeting them with one ad, which is the post on your page. So you're very limited. So I think over time, you're going to spend less money and get more results by actually creating strategic campaigns.
All right. I will never be tempted by that button again. I get it. It's sunk in. I could just talk to you forever, and I totally want to have you on again to have a much more in-depth, maybe on one small topic of Facebook ads. But you have a course that I wanted to share with all of our listeners. It's awesome. If you are thinking about running Facebook ads and you're just not sure where to start, definitely check out Monica's course, because I've been on the back end of this course and she has put her blood, sweat, and tears into this course. And I think that it is amazing. And I know it's going to get you results because so many people have gotten awesome results with it. Monica, you want to tell us where to find it?
Sure. So the course is called Flourish, the step-by-step Facebook ad system to create campaigns that convert, because I want to help more people flourish with Facebook ads. And so you can learn more about it at monicalouie.com/flourish. it really takes you through everything that I teach regarding Facebook ads. So we start with, what are the basics, the terminology, what do you need to understand? And then we go through the strategy. So what are those different strategies? Which ones are going to apply to your business? I go in detail about how to create different audiences, which audiences I recommend starting with, and which ones that you can test later on when you have a larger budget. And then we go through, how to structure a high converting ad, because there, people think it's like, throw up a picture and then, put some text on it. But there's really some key formulas that can help increase the click-throughs and the conversions with that. And so then I take you into the Power Editor and the Ads Manager to put it all together so that you can create your campaigns. And I would like to offer your audience, Nicole, if it's okay with you, yes, a code. So if they type in Nicole 50, NICHOLE 50, 50, they will save $50 off the price of the course.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. I love discounts. I like finding the best deal out there. Before I buy something, I will check all over the internet for a promo code. So, yes. And I have Honey installed on my Amazon, so you are speaking my language. I like that. Thank you so much. By the way, you guys, Monica has created a free guide for us. It's called The 5 Questions You Should Ask Before You Spend Any Money on Facebook Ads. And you can find that at monicalouie.com/Nicole. That's NICHOLE. Trust me, you guys want to grab that freebie. So I will have that in the show notes so you don't have to remember. And I'll see you in the next episode. I hope you have a wonderful day. I really hope that you're loving this podcast as much as I am. If you are, please, please, please leave a raving review on iTunes so more moms can find us. Easiest way to get there, mommyshomeoffice.com/iTunes. And just one last thing. Mom, you've got this. Now go kick some ass.